It's Pancake Day by Poison Pinkie Pie. The tags for the story are sex, anthro, romance, slice of life. Twilight loves her crazy and random girlfriend, Pinkie Pie, and is always up to one of her latest kinky fetishes, no matter what it is. So one day, Pinkie Pie wants to celebrate one of her many favorite days with Twilight, Pancake Day. Will Twilight enjoy the hot, sticky mess this fetish will bring out? The ponies that star in the story are Twilight Sparkle and Pinkie Pie. Yay, pancakes! With 2,361 words. And done! Tee-hee-hee! Pinkie Pie giggled as she got done using the last can of whipped cream on her lover's ass. She then discarded the empty can into the trash and looked at Twilight with a smile on her face. Okie dokie, ready for fucky? She asked playfully. Ready when you are. Ready when you are, Twilight Sparkle replied, looking back, while shaking her ass gently, with 10 cans worth of whipped cream piled on top of it. The 400-pound alicorn princess was laying on a bed-sized pancake that Pinkie Pie had made that morning for their little fun. Under her huge gut and breasts was a small pool of syrup that felt rather weird to Twilight, but at the same time, she liked it. Twilight's back and huge 200-pound jiggly ass was also slathered with sweet, sticky maple syrup. The syrup slowly made its way down the sides of her fat, soft ass and belly before going into her folds. The alicorn liked the feel of the worm's sticky substance dripping into her deep folds. You know, Pinkie, out of all your hundreds of kinky, weird fetishes, this has got to be the messiest and stickiest, she commented. Are you sure you can clean all of it? The princess questioned. Well, duh, silly, of course I can, Pinkie replied with a chuckle. Also, it's Pancake Day. How else are we to celebrate it? The pink mare asked before she got down on her knees and unlatched the black leather bra to let her huge triple G breasts, which bounced as she let them out of their restraints. She soon tossed her bra to the side, and then placed her hands on Twilight's huge fat purple ass. Twilight blushed as her lover's hands sunk into her sticky mountainous ass. The syrup slowly rolled in between the pink mare's fingers as she groped the large mass. Pinkie Pie licked her lips as she leaned towards the huge purple ass and started to lap up the sweet taste of syrup. As she did, the horny mare let out a moan of delight as she enjoyed the taste of Twilight's maple syrup-covered ass. Twilight closed her eyes as she let out a small moan as well, while enjoying the feel of Pinkie's wet, warm tongue on her ass. Pinkie soon started to massage Twilight's ass, while licking her right ass cheek. while licking her right ass cheek of its sweet, sticky treat. The fat of Twilight's ass felt like sticky, soft pudding to Pinkie as she rubbed all over it. As Pinkie's hand wandered over the canvas of ass, her hand started to be covered in sticky syrup. But this didn't stop her from licking and even kissing Twilight's huge ass clean of the sticky mess. Once she was done, she started on the left cheek. Twilight was in a trance as her rear end was being stroked by Pinkie's hands and licked. The fat alicorn's pussy was starting to get wet as she enjoyed the ass worshipping. Soon after 10 minutes, Pinkie Pie was done licking the mammoth ass. She leaned back and giggled as her face was covered in sticky syrup. Wow, Twilight, your ass is sure is sweet, she complimented as she smacks it, which caused the butt to jiggle. Twilight blushed at the comment. However, she felt that her lover wasn't all done with cleaning her up from the stickiness. Pinkie? Twilight moaned. Yes, Twilight. You need to, clean in between my ass. Twilight replied, shaking her ass side to side. My pussy is really sticky and hot right now. Okie dokie, hee hee hee. Pinkie responded with a smile as she places her syrup-covered hands on Twilight's and separated the cheeks to revel the alicorn syrup-covered pussy. Not just that, but syrup ran down all between Twilight's crack. This mad Pinkie's nipples even harder. What are girlfriends for? She remarked before leaning inward. Pinkie's first inhale of the Pinkie first inhaled the sweet aroma of maple syrup and Twilight's fat cum dripping pussy. She then started to lick the lips of Twilight's pussy while getting all the syrup off of it. However, the horny pink mare was teasing Twilight with licking her slowly. Twilight bit her lips as she enjoyed the tease of Pinkie's tongue dancing around her pussy lips. After a bit, Pinkie started licking her clit. This made Twilight grip the pancake bed tightly as she moaned lustfully. "Oh, fuck, that's good, Pinkie," she moaned. "Don't stop." Pinkie Pie lapped her clit aggressively and nibbled the lips of Twilight's pussy, which drove her wild. The feel of Pinkie's teeth gently biting her fat pussy lips and nibbling her clit made her even hotter. Soon Pinkie's face was met with a splash of cum as Twilight reached her climax. The pink mare just smiled as she licked up all of the cum before leaning back. Pinkie then licked her lips and sucked her fingers off of all sticky substances. "Hee hee, that was fun," she complimented as she got done sucking her middle finger. She then placed her hands back on Twilight's ass again and spread her cheeks apart. This time, the horny mare had another target to lick clean off of the sticky substance. She leaned forward and started giving Twilight a rim job. This made the fat alicorn giggle with delight as Pinkie's tongue circled around her asshole. "Pinkie, stop! It tickles!" Twilight chuckled as her body jiggled when she laughed. The fat alicorn started shaking her ass faster to try to get the mare to stop, but was all in vain. Pinkie Pie was in a trance, licking the crack of her huge ass while hugging it tight. Suddenly, the whipped cream on Twilight's ass started to drip downward onto Pinkie's head and shoulders in a waterfall of sweet cream. Pinkie ignored this and continued licking Twilight. It then ran down the pink mare's back and dripped off of her fat ass. After about 5 minutes, Pinkie Pie stuck her head out of her lover's ass. And smiled. "Yum! Maple Twilight is my favorite," she said while giggling. However, she soon noticed the whipped cream had poured all over Twilight's ass and on her. "Aw, man, looks like I gotta clean you again. Hee hee hee," she mentioned as she grabbed her hair and squeezed out all of the whipped cream. Soon Pinkie's mane was clean again, and so she grabbed her large breasts and started leaning forward. She giggled as her hard nipples touched her lover's whipped cream-covered ass. On top of that, Pinkie loved the smell of Twilight's large butt, especially when it was covered with syrup. It made the mare's pussy even wetter. She slowly started moving her breasts around on the ass and smiled as they scooped up the white sweet cream and started to cover her up in it. After a while, her breasts scooped up most of the whipped cream. "Hey, Pinkie, maybe I can clean your breasts for you?" Twilight smiled as she looked back and smiled. However, she was unable to see her lover behind her due to her ass was so big. That's not a sentence. "Okay, hee hee," Pinkie replied as she then grinds her body on Twilight's ass. The pink mare's body scooped up any remaining whipped cream that was on Twilight. As the mare walked in front of Twilight, she rubbed her breasts and stomach with the whipped cream. She was then standing above Twilight, with the white cream dripping over her own pussy and thighs. "Are you ready for your favorite pink pie?" she questioned as some of the whipped cream started to drip onto the bed. Twilight looked at her lover's huge cream-covered breasts and pussy. She licked her lips as her stomach growled. "Yes." Pinkie smiled and jumped onto the pancake bed. Her huge breasts bounced hard as she landed in her face. The pink mare just laughed it off as she stroked her tits and spread her legs for her lover, with her pussy right in front of Twilight's face. "Okay, eat up," she ordered while rubbing her hard nipples. Twilight then grabbed Pinkie's legs and started licking her thighs. Pinkie Pie started to giggle as her lover licked one of her many ticklish spots. She covered her mouth, trying not to laugh. Twilight soon started to bite Pinkie's thighs, which made her laugh even harder. Twilight kept her legs restrained as she bit down on Pinkie's thighs playfully. After a few seconds, Twilight made her way up to Pinkie's pussy. The alicorn licked the whipped cream off of the mare's pussy, enjoying her lover's sweet taste. Pinkie started to calm down and moan at the pleasure of having Twilight lick her pussy. The pink mare couldn't move her legs because of Twilight laying her large body on them. As Twilight was licking, Pinkie Pie placed her hand on the alicorn's head to keep her in place while she groped her breasts with her free hand. "Twilight, your tongue feels so good," she moaned. Twilight soon started to become rough with Pinkie's pussy by biting her. This in turn made Pinkie scream in pleasure and pain at the same time. "Oh fuck, Twilight, stop!" Pinkie begged, but Twilight kept biting her pussy over and over again. "Oh fuck, Twilight, I'm gonna come if you keep doing that." The mare screamed as she laid back on the bed with her body stiff. She wanted to kick her legs in mercy, but was not able to, due to they were covered by Twilight's fat belly. "Oh God, Twi, I'm coming!" she screamed as cum burst on Twilight's fat face. However, Twilight kept licking her pussy, wanting more cum. Pinkie started moaning even louder, even louder, as that's the word. Pinkie started moaning even louder, as Twilight was resistant in getting more of her pussy. She moved around, trying to escape, which made her huge tits flop all over the place, with whipped cream flying on them. But she was bound and forced to submit to Twilight's lust for her. "Oh fuck, here comes more!" The mare screamed again, as more cum splashed onto Twilight's face. After 10 orgasms, Pinkie had tears in her eyes and was breathing heavily. Twilight soon moved onward to Pinkie's stomach and ate the cream off her belly. The alicorn's tongue went into Pinkie's belly button and cleaned out the sweet, sticky goodness. She soon made her way to Pinkie's breasts and lapped up the whipped cream from under her lover's breasts. Pinkie smiled as her breasts were super sensitive at the touch of Twilight's tongue. The alicorn then moved to her nipples, where she began to lick around it and then started to nibble on it. This made Pinkie giggle and moan with pleasure. The pink mare stroked Twilight's hair as the alicorn was sucking on both her tits clean of any remaining cream. After Twilight was done getting the whipped cream off, she then moved further up, her huge tits meeting Pinkie's and laid on top of them. Pinkie felt hot as the full 400 pounds of hot fat of her lover was on top of her. She moved her hands across Twilight's fat belly and jiggled the lard. Twilight smiled as Pinkie juggled her fat belly with her gentle, soft hands. She moved her hands across Twilight's fat belly. The two lovers looked in each other's eyes with a smile on their face. Twilight then leaned down and started to kiss her lips. Their tongues rolled around in each other's mouths as Pinkie grasped Twilight's sides fat folds. As they made out, Twilight's horn started to glow and magically opened the dresser on the other side of the room. She pulled out a two-way spiky dildo and levitated it towards her, while still making out with her lover. She transported the dildo behind her and lifted her tail before placing it inside her pussy. She moans as the spiky dildo went inside her. She then lifted her hips and aimed the other part of the dildo to its target. The alicorn then slammed her hips down, forcing the spiky dildo into Pinkie's pussy. This made Pinkie scream with delight as her eyes widened with joy. Her grip became tighter as Twilight started humping Pinkie harder. Her ass flopped all over the place, making a sloshing noise as she slammed into Pinkie's pelvis. "Oh fuck, I'm gonna come, Twilight!" Pinkie cried as the spike dildo massaged the inside of her tight, hot pussy. Let's come together, okay?" Twilight gasped as she continued pounding Pinkie's pussy. Pinkie looked at Twilight with tears in her eyes and smiled. "Okay," Pinkie said, ready to hit her climax. Twilight then felt herself about to reach her own climax and lunged her lips forward. Both Pinkie and Twilight kissed deeply as the alicorn slammed her hug hips down one more time, and they both came. Twilight then magically took out the dildo out of their pussy and tried to catch her breath. The two looked starry-eyed into each other's eyes as they both tried to catch their breath. Happy Pancake Day. Twilight, I love you, Pinkie said, exhausted. Twilight said as she leans down and kissed Pinkie. The two just laid there, kissing in each other's embrace.